We'd like to talk a little bit about social media for merchants. Today, we're going to cover the basic toolbox for implementing a well thought out social media system for your downtown business. In that toolbox should include Facebook, Instagram, possibly Twitter. You need to at least understand what's going on right now with Pinterest, and then possibly even YouTube. These are kind of the five leading platforms, and we'd like to talk a little bit about each one of those today and go a little bit deeper into what the difference between them are and how they can work for your business. So let's start with the big guy, talk a little bit about Facebook. The first thing you need to make sure of is you need to make sure that you have a store page set up. It is amazing how many people are still using a personal page to try to promote their business. Want to make sure that you have a store page on there. With that store page, you have the opportunity to make sure that you have store hours and addresses and contact information and website. A couple other things to consider is look and make sure that there are any relevant merchant groups that you have joined those. A lot of Main Street organizations will have a downtown oriented closed merchant group. And what that closed group means is that the business owners can talk directly to one another. They can ask questions, they can share concerns, and they can do it all in a closed forum instead of something that's viewable by the entire public. This is also a really great way to share reopening strategies or marketing tools that can be shared amongst the entire merchant community, as well as even planning things like extended hours campaigns or reopening and welcome back campaigns. The next thing that we're going to touch on very briefly is just the acknowledgement that Facebook has launched stories, and stories are very similar to Instagram stories. I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about stories when we get to Instagram, but just know that they are relevant in both platforms. Next, Facebook Live. Facebook has launched the opportunity for users to broadcast live. And in addition to broadcasting live, it actually saves that video on your page for several days or permanently if you choose to save the video. And it allows other people to host watch parties. And these watch parties allow the audience to continue to grow for any live messages that you might take out there to Facebook. This is a great way to go and take a tour of your store, possibly highlight new products, show off some of the things that maybe the customers haven't seen yet. Now, Facebook also offers traditional digital ads. It allows you to target audiences. It allows you to define demographics or possibly even target geographies and start to expand your reach and expand your message. But one of the greatest things that's happened in Facebook is they have now started to integrate in online sales platforms for both retail and restaurants. You can, if you're a restaurant, you can integrate your menu, and you can even use a purchase online platform that uses Facebook as a portal. So where Facebook truly was purely social, it has very much evolved into a primary transaction platform and is very important for you as a business owner to make sure that all the different facets that Facebook has to offer are relevant to you. Now, next, let's talk about Instagram. And I like to refer to Instagram as the art gallery of social media. It's the place that we can truly highlight spectacular images, and it's kind of the best way to describe it for businesses is virtual front store windows. And the thing that is so nice about this is it's a very, very calm platform. People post thoughtful images that they took time to compose. Everything that makes its way into your feed needs to be very well thought out and needs to be of high quality imagery. Now, that being said, Instagram has also launched stories. Stories are very different from your feed. Where your feed, you want those images that are very high caliber. The stories are the places where people truly get to meet you. They get to understand your personality, and they can truly make a personal connection. So it is absolutely okay for you to have two different voices between Instagram feed and Instagram stories. Now, everybody has different preferences, but for the most part, people like stories that are regular but also relevant. You don't need the story if you don't have something to say, and you also don't need to have 75 different story frames per hour. This is just it's a good dialogue, and it's one of those things where when you have something that you want to share, it's a great place to share it and make it personal. The other thing I really like about Instagram is because of the quality desired for the photography, it actually provides a bit of fuel to make sure that you as a business owner have really good quality products, photos of your products. If you're a restaurant, it might motivate you to get really, really good photos of your food. And once you have those photos, you now are empowered to tell your story even more. What we've seen a lot of folks do is they identify those loyal customers that are kind of some of their best evangelists, and sometimes they actually even let those customers go and do Instagram takeovers. So let's say that you're a vintage store and you sell all kinds of home goods, and you've got a loyal customer that comes in every couple of weeks and gets stuff from you every time they come in. Well, maybe you allow them to take over the feed for the weekend and do a tour of their home and show off all the things they got in your store. So think about that interesting way that you can elevate some of your own customers and turn them into traffic creators for your business. Instagram has also offered a longer feed content that they call Instagram TV. So it allows people to consume a greater level of video content. But what's really nice about this is they've created a bit of a wall. They make you put a little bit of effort in to access that TV feed. And what that does is it maintains that calmness that Instagram is known for. I purposefully did not integrate TikTok into the talk today. TikTok is the opposite of calm, and that's why it's not a very valid tool right this second for our downtown businesses. But Instagram TV might allow you to do a longer feed of something that you might be sharing. In addition to that, there are platforms that are emerging that are helping businesses to sell directly through the comment section of their Instagram account. One you might look at is called Comment Sold. And this company actually was birthed out of a downtown business and the need to be able to move inventory through that Instagram audience that they had developed. And then one of the other things that always is very popular, and this is a great piece of content for your Instagram stories, is doing unboxing videos when you get new product. And then that way you're giving the sneak peek of the new things that you're getting to those folks that are following along. From there, we talked briefly about Twitter. Twitter continues to be a very interesting platform. It is very busy, and I think that when you understand that people don't go to Twitter for peace, they go to Twitter for content and links and finding out about what's going on and reading articles and that kind of thing. There are a couple places where Twitter might make sense for your business. It might make sense simply to tweet when new product gets delivered. It might make sense for you to tweet if you're a bakery when blueberry muffins come out of the oven. It might make sense if you are trying to move certain products that you go through and offer a 20% sale for the next 2 hours for everybody that mentions the tweet. But then the other thing that it can do for you is it can allow you to find out more about other sales trends that might be going on in your industry or products that might be particularly hot if you're going through and finding good peers to follow along with Twitter. But all in all, this is a tool that's kind of a direct, quick strike to be able to get things moving. From there, I think it makes sense for us to talk for a moment about Pinterest. Pinterest is a place where people are able to aggregate things that they love, whether it's products, whether it's images, whether it's look and feel or tones. Over the past 2 months, or actually the numbers have just come in for April 2020, and Pinterest has seen a 44% increase in people shopping through their pins. So this is a fantastic platform that people are using to browse. They are using this to compare products and to really do that first wave of the sales cycle. So getting product that you have in your store connected online and then shared through Pinterest is a really great sequence for you to be able to capture new sales. And I think the thing that this does as well is you start to see this interesting trend. If you have quality photos that you can share on Instagram, then you can use those same quality photos to have an online store and then share those online store feeds through pins on Pinterest. And you as a business owner can also use Pinterest to explore and find new products that you might feature in your store. And then finally, we look at YouTube. YouTube is kind of it's an interesting platform. We have seen for a long time it wasn't particularly relevant to a lot of businesses. They didn't really have that content. But one of the things that we've started to see a big trend in recently, especially as restaurants have dealt with forced closures and an attempt to figure out how to continue revenue, is many restaurants and their chefs have made their way to YouTube, have been creating cooking videos, have been creating trainings, and then are selling boxes of materials that go along with that training to keep the revenue going. But always remember, this is a medium where you do want the video to be of a certain quality. You do want to uphold the same brand standard that you have for your business yourself. So if you're concerned and you don't feel like you can reach that high quality, it is absolutely okay for you to put video content on the back burner. It's absolutely important that everything that you share is a quality created content. And that really leads with this kind of wrap up. The wrap up concept and idea that you always need to think about is every single time you go to social media, you should be creating content that people will love. If you're creating things that they interact with, if you're creating things that they like, that they share, that they comment on, then the social media platforms see you as a positive content creator. If you're doing a good job creating content, they're going to share your content with more people. You're doing their job for them, and they will treat you well because of it. So always think about the fact that the more engaging the content you create is, the more people who will be exposed to it. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll meet here again soon.